Hello everyone. Now we are going to have a look at the third question of mock for quiz 2. If you're looking at the question, they have given the two matrix representations as we already underlined, and according to the matrix representation, we have to find the dimensions according to the four answer options. Let's have a look at it. So here is the first matrix representation, here is the second matrix representation. We'll solve one by one. So now let's have a look at the first matrix representation. So we are going to convert it into an echelon form. Let's give the name of the first matrix representation as V1 and we are going to convert it into an echelon form. So we are going to combine two matrices as we saw in the previous questions of mock test, and here the matrix is in the form Ax is equal to B. So according to that, we have combined the two matrix elements A and B, and now to convert it into an echelon form, as we discussed already, the first row, first element, below that both the elements should be 0, and similarly in the second row of the non-zero element, suppose we are considering 1, below 1 it should be 0. So let's have a look at it. You can write the first row as it is, since there is a pivot element. First row, first element, it is 1, so below that it should be 0. So therefore the second row already it is 0, so no need to disturb the second row. So 0, 1, 1, 2 we can write as it is. Now the first element of the third row, since it is not 0, we are going to convert it into a 0 by subtracting the third row from R1. So therefore third row we are writing it as R3 minus R1. So we will write it as 0, minus 1, minus 1, minus 2. Okay. Now looking at the next step, if you are seeing, so which is the easy way to make the third row 0? Because you are making the third row is 0 is in the second row, second element below the pivot 1, it should be 0. So therefore the very easy method is, while adding the third row and the second row, we can get the pivot element, that is below the pivot element we will be getting it as 0. So therefore what we are going to do in the next step is, we are going to add the third row with the second row, so R3 plus R2. So therefore 0 plus 0 is 0, minus 1 plus 1 0, again 0, minus 2 plus 2 0. Okay, so therefore it is in echelon form. Yes, it is in echelon form. Fine. Now they have asked the dimension of V1. Since dimension is nothing but a rank, so dimension of V1, how many non-zero rows are there? This is the first row, second row. This is the non-zero row. Therefore, two non-zero rows are there. Therefore, the dimension of V1 is 2. Okay. Now, let's have a look at the other matrix representation. So listen very carefully. This is a very important thing. Now, if you are having a look at the other matrix representation, so we will take this as V2 and we will combine the matrix in the form of the augmented matrix. So 1 0 1 2 2 0 2 4 and 3 0 3 6. Compared to the first matrix representation, this second matrix representation is very easy, because as you see, we can easily convert them into an echelon form. Why? Because in the first row we can keep it as it is, and in the second row, if you are seeing, we can just divide the second row by 2. Why? Because it is all divisible by 2. So 2 by 2 is 1, 0 by 2 0, 2 by 2 again 1, and 4 by 2 is 2. Okay, and similarly third row we can also divide that by 2. So R3 by 2. So again the third row is divisible by 3. So therefore we are getting 3 by 3 is 1, 0 by 3 is 0, 3 by 3 again 1, then 6 by 3 is 2. Okay, fine. So now let's check whether it is in echelon form. In the pivot of the first row, below that it is not 0. So therefore we should subtract it. And similarly, we'll look at the next step. So V2, while writing in the echelon form, let us write the first row as it is. So second row, that is the first element of the second row, it should be 0. So therefore R2 minus R1. So 1 minus 1 is 0, 0 minus 0, 0, 1 minus 1, 0, 2 minus 2 again 0. Similarly, if you are looking at the third row, okay, we should also make the first element of the third row 0. So therefore R3 minus R1. So you'll be getting it as 0, 0, 0, 0. And if you are seeing the pivot of the first element, below the pivot of the first row, both the elements are 0. And if you're looking at the second row, there is no pivot element, so no need to worry about. So therefore, if you're looking at the second matrix representation V2, yes, we can say it is in echelon form. It is in echelon form. Okay. And if you're looking at the dimension, dimension is nothing but the rank. So dimension of V2. So what is dimension or a rank? It is nothing but the number of non-zero rows. Here only one non-zero row is there. Second row and third row, it is full of zeros. Therefore, dimension of V2, that is rank of V2 is 1. So if you are checking the answer option, so dimension of V1 is 2 and dimension of V2 is 1. So for V1 rank is 2. So therefore the correct answer is option 2. Okay. So the dimension of V1 is 2 and the dimension of V2 is 1. That is all. Thank you. Hope you all understood. So if you like this video, kindly like it, share and subscribe. Thank you.